All right, you've probably heard the word blockchain floating around, right? Usually next to words like Bitcoin or NFTs. But what in the world is it? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this whole thing using a super simple idea, a magic, unchangeable notebook. Let's do this.
Okay, first things first, I want you to picture a notebook. But this isn't just any notebook, it's magic. Anything you write in this notebook is stuck there forever. You can't erase it, you can't scribble it out, you can't tear out the page. Now, what if an identical copy of this magic notebook was given to all of your friends, and anytime someone wrote something new, it just magically appeared in everyone's notebook at the exact same time? That right there, that's the big idea behind blockchain.
So what that really means is a blockchain is just a special kind of digital diary, or what the pros call a ledger. But here's the twist. Unlike a normal database that a bank keeps on one big central computer, a blockchain is decentralized. It's shared and copied across thousands of computers all over the world. There's no single person, no single company in charge of the whole thing. So, how does this magic notebook actually work? I mean, how does it keep everything safe and fair if there's no boss watching over it? Let's break it down step by step. It's actually pretty clever.
Let's follow a little story. Say our stick figure friend Alice wants to send one shiny digital coin to Bob. Her request gets shouted out to everyone on the network, all the people holding a copy of the magic notebook. Then the network does a quick check. Does Alice actually have a coin to send? Once enough people say, yep, looks good, the transaction gets approved. It's bundled up with a bunch of others onto a new page called a block. And finally, that new page gets sealed shut and attached to the notebook forever.
Now, for the chain part of blockchain, how do all these pages stick together? Well, each page, or block, gets sealed with a totally unique, impossible-to-fake digital fingerprint. Think of it like a magic code. And here's the genius part. Each new page also includes the magic code of the page that came right before it. This is what links them all together in one super strong, unbreakable chain.
And this is why it's so secure. Because every page is linked to the one before it. If some sneaky person tried to go back and change something on an old page, it would totally mess up its magic code, and that would break the code on the next page and the next and so on. It would basically set off a giant alarm across the entire network. Everyone's copies would immediately know something was wrong and reject the change. Once it's in, it is in for good. So, if there's no boss, how does everyone agree on what the next page should be? Well, there are two main ways. The first is called proof of work. You can think of this like a giant worldwide race. Computers all over the globe, called miners, compete to solve a ridiculously hard math puzzle. The first one to solve it gets to add the next page to the notebook. The other big one is proof of stake. This isn't a race, it's more like a raffle. People lock up some of their own crypto to show they're trustworthy, and the network randomly picks one of them to add the next block. Okay, you with me so far? Good. Now let's see how this magic notebook stacks up against something we all use every day, a regular bank. And trust me, the differences are pretty huge. Just take a look at this. Your bank, it's centralized. There's one boss in control. A blockchain, it's decentralized. Everyone is in control together. Banks have hours, right? They close on weekends. The blockchain, well, it never sleeps, ever. A bank transfer can take a few days to clear. A blockchain transaction can be done in minutes. And here's a big one. A bank's records are totally private. A blockchain's records, on the other hand, are open for everyone on the network to see. Think about it. When you use a bank, you're always dealing with middlemen. You've got to play by their rules, wait for their business hours, and it can take days for your money to actually move from point A to point B. The whole system is built around these gatekeepers, and that's often what makes it slow and expensive.
Blockchain just throws that whole model out the window. Poof, no middlemen. The network is on 24/7, 365 days a year. Your transactions are confirmed by the network itself, directly between you and the other person, and it happens fast. It's a completely different way of thinking about how things get done.
Okay, so this whole thing started with Bitcoin, which was all about creating a new kind of money. But the idea of a magic, unchangeable notebook, its potential goes way, way beyond just digital cash.
This quote from the mysterious creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, really gets to the heart of it. The key phrase here is no trusted third party. The whole point was to build a system where you didn't need a middleman. And that idea, removing the middleman, can be applied to pretty much any industry you can imagine.
And guess what? People are already doing it. I mean, imagine being able to track your food all the way from the farm to your dinner table to know it's fresh, or storing your medical records so that only you can decide who sees them. We could build voting systems where it's impossible to cheat, or create digital property deeds. There's even something called smart contracts, which are like vending machines for agreements. You put in the money, and the contract automatically gives you what you paid for. No lawyers needed. The possibilities here are absolutely massive.
But as incredible as all this sounds, we gotta be realistic. This technology is still super new, and like any big, new idea, it's got its fair share of problems and growing pains.
So that brings us to the big question. Is this stuff perfect? Let me give you the short answer. No, not by a long shot. It has some very real issues that we have to talk about.
So on the plus side, it's crazy secure, it's transparent, and it can be super efficient by getting rid of those middlemen. But on the downside, a lot of blockchains are slow. I mean, Bitcoin can handle maybe 7 transactions a second. Visa, they do over 65,000. Some methods, like that proof of work race, use a truly insane amount of energy. And this one's huge, so listen up. There is no undo button. If you make a mistake and send your crypto to the wrong address, it is gone. Forever.
Okay, so let's do a super quick recap. What have we learned? At its heart, blockchain is just a magic notebook, a shared, unchangeable record book. How's it work? Pages called blocks are linked together by a chain of magic code. Why is it different? There's no boss, it's always open, and it's incredibly secure. And what's it for? So much more than just money.
So I'll leave you with one last thing to chew on. Our whole world is basically built on trusting middlemen. We trust banks, we trust governments, we trust lawyers. What happens to that world when the system itself becomes the thing we trust? What happens when we no longer need to trust other people, but just trust the code we can all see and verify? What does that future even look like?